let's do this. Let's bring in our man, the co-host of Laying Down the Law. He's on the move, as he was a lot of times in his illustrious NFL career, the former All-Pro NFL quarterback, and our man, Jeff Blake. Jeff, what's up, son? What's up?
Going on? Can everybody hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
What's up, man?
What's happening, Jeff?
What's going on?
It's NFL draft recap. I don't know if you do any the betting on the ponies, but they ran.
California Chrome.
I don't bet on the horses.
That's a wise choice. That is a wise choice. Do not.
I just leave it on the hard eight for them. That's all.
Hey, you know what? We need to go somewhere and throw one down on that hard eight, because when it hits, we gonna think we won the daggone lottery.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's unfortunate that they couldn't have cameras in there that we could use to see it when the hard eight is hit. But but when it hits, boy, and that payout comes, there will be much rejoicing. So, hey, we wanted to check in, let the listeners know that you're alive and well. We know that you've been asked to help out with the NFL Prep Series and a lot of different things around the country. So we are involved. We're active and we're here locally, but we're involved nationally. Your thoughts, man? The quarterback situation in this draft. You see how things went. You got Bortles, you got Manziel, you got Bridgewater, you got a lot. You now Logan. Is it Mankin? Logan, the Virginia Tech quarterback, says he's not a project. What's your take on your position in the NFL? And I really want to know, because you spoke about Johnny Manziel being a liken to you in the skill sets and abilities. Is it wise, and if you're talking to him out loud, to just get acclimated to the NFL before he jumps in, because we know he's going to be a starter at some point?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of people were saying that he got to pay his dues and all that, but he's just too much of a high-profile player, high-profile person, not to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, bringing all the accolades that he's achieved in college, the stardom, hanging out with all the entertainers and other athletes, and hanging out with guys like LeBron and things like that. So he's going to bring a lot more of that stuff to the table. And I think as soon as he got drafted, the Cleveland Browns sold out their season tickets. So they're going to be expecting him to play. His jersey sales are high. So all those things are happening. But what Johnny's going to have to do is make sure that the guys around him are ready to play at the same level that he's ready to play. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go out and continue to play the same way that he's been playing. But the only thing I was worried about Johnny was the fact that he's at the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns have been a graveyard for the last 4 or 5 years for quarterbacks. Actually, probably the last 10 years for quarterbacks. And you can name at least 3 or 4 guys from Colt McCoy to Brady Quinn, the kid they drafted from Oklahoma State about a year ago, Brandon Wheaton. Brandon Wheaton. Where are those guys?
Well, Wheaton is with the Cowboys now. Derek Alexander's out the league. He was no, it's not Derek Alexander. Number 2, the quarterback from Kentucky.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. He came in for Wheaton. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. And those guys are a null and void. They're going through Cleveland right now. That's happening to a lot of quarterbacks. And I just hope that doesn't happen to Johnny. And whatever that aura thing that's been killing the quarterbacks in Cleveland, I hope he can get rid of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll say this. He didn't have a great cast around him at Kerrville-Tivy when we did his games against Lake Travis. No one was raving about Texas A&M when he went to Texas A&M. So, he's done, he's like one of those black moms, Blake. They do a lot with a hamburger helper to feed about 15 people.
Right.
So he doesn't have a lot, but now he's going to have better than he's ever had.
Well, the thing is, now he can definitely be successful as an individual and as a quarterback. He can put up numbers, I mean, you look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton put up a lot of numbers his first year, his rookie year, but he didn't have no wins. And, Johnny can do that. But the ultimate goal of the NFL as a quarterback is to win football games. And if you're not winning football games, who cares about how many yards you throw? So,
right. Well, Tony Romo's not winning football games. Not the ones that Dallas won anyway, but all they talk about is how much yards he put up, Jeff.
Yeah, but he's winning 10 games a year, 10 games a year. So they put themselves in playoff contention. They didn't go to playoffs this year, but they in playoff contention. And they're not far from where they want to be. But like I said, Romo, that's a whole different story. Romo is putting up the numbers, but at the end of the day, really, the thing that's killing Romo is that he's not winning games. He's not winning playoff games. He's not winning Super Bowls, and that's killing him. And until he starts doing that, until he starts getting to the Super Bowl, I mean, you look at Eli Manning hasn't been to the Super Bowl, and they weren't even in the playoffs last year. You don't hear anybody talking about Eli Manning, but he got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and it's Derek Alexander was the quarterback that I was talking about. Apologize there. But yeah, Derek Anderson. I said Derek Anderson, right? Derek Alexander, I think, was a wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. I don't even know how come I know that much about the Cleveland Browns. Probably because nothing happens there. And now with Josh Gordon, possibility of him not being there. But, Jeff, they bring in Miles Austin. They bring in Earl Bennett, seasoned receivers. And, again, you had a guy or a couple guys in Darnay Scott and Pickens. Do you have to have the real deep threat, or can you have 3 guys that can possess the ball anywhere from 0 to 20 yards and get open?
Well, in order to be successful in an offense, especially in NFL, you got to have a vertical and a horizontal stretch. If you don't have both, there's no way that you're going to be successful. You can have just horizontal and mid-tier throwing and get away with it, but you won't be a dangerous offense.
Well,
teams who have that deep threat are very dangerous, and defenses are afraid of them.
What about the West Coast offense? Isn't the West Coast offense effectively what Bill Walsh created because Jerry Rice wasn't the fastest guy, but was a hell of a route runner?
But if you look at a lot of Jerry Rice highlights, he catches a lot of deep posts.
Well, that's true. That's true. So maybe some of the
a lot of deep posts. So that's not true. A lot of the West Coast philosophy is to dink and dunk enough to get the defense to come up so you can go over the top.
Right, so you don't need a 4-4 guy to get deep. I mean, Jerry Rice has proven that. And my point, I guess, being is who they have when you have good running game and play action. And Joe Montana with Rathman and Roger Craig, Ricky Waters. I mean, he had a staple of running backs. Well, shoot. Then all of a sudden, those safeties cheat up enough for you to get deep.
Exactly. And, like you said, Cleveland Brown, they have Miles Austin now. And
Earl Bennett.
Well, if Miles can stay healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's another big key. If Miles can't stay healthy, he ain't going to do nobody no good.
And Jeff, I think you don't necessarily have to have a real fast receiver to take people deep as long as you have a receiver that'll go deep and that'll fight for the ball.
Exactly. You look at a guy like Anquan Bolden. He's not a real fast receiver, but he's physical. And the ball goes up in the air, he's going to come down with it.
Hey, Jeff, what quarterback did you say, nobody really knows it? Like you, nobody really knows about East Carolina's Jeff Blake, but this guy has a chance to stay in the league for a while and be very productive for whichever team decides that to make it a home for him. Did you see anybody that kind of struck you like that?
I do. I think Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Louisville is a D1 school, but it's still. I don't think Louisville is your premier, football school. You understand what I'm saying? So I look at a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. I put Louisville for his football in the same category as East Carolina when it comes to football, not basketball.
Right.
Football. And I see him being that guy, kind of staying under the radar. just going to, do his thing and have an opportunity to go out and play. He's going to play very well. I mean, if you look at all the quarterbacks that were graded out, he's one of the top quarterbacks that graded out this year coming out the draft. So don't sleep on Teddy Bridgewater. I think he could be one of those type of Russell Wilson type guys, where he goes to a team, he's second string quarterback, third string quarterback, work his way up, or he might not even play them that first year or two. And if he does, that'll be great. But if he doesn't, he'll be that guy that sneaks in and takes his team somewhere to the playoffs.
Well, the first guy that pops up around that same area is an Aaron Rodgers, who had an opportunity around the same area, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Right.
Now the Wisconsin folks and the Minnesotans will say that they are not the same. I get that, but regionally, and he could get an opportunity to learn the game and then come in and be highly productive. So that's a very good point. And well, Jeff, I know you're traveling, and I know you got your things to do, and we say safe travels and everything. Let's do this. We know you'll be back. We'll give the listeners that much in information. And we're sorry we missed you. I know we had to change up the plan earlier in the week at the golf tournament. We would have, wanted to have the crew out there, and we know Ryan had some things as well. But everything went well that way, and look forward to catching back up with you, man.
All right, Steve. Y'all have a good day, man.
Okay. There it is. Co-host Jeff Blake out and about on the countryside. We're going to keep it in this theme of the NFL draft. I think this is a good hour that we look at some folks, notables. We're going to get to the Houston Texans in a couple of segments. When we come back, College to Pros, Bo Marchant, he's going to talk about some of the smaller schools, the sleepers, folks that you may not know that he does a tremendous job each year in coming up with some people that may help your fantasy team, definitely going to help the 32 teams compete later on in 2014 in the summer and the fall. So stay with us. More NFL football, draft, players, happenings. Take a little sidebar, come back with Spence and the Lieutenant Governor right here on Laying Down the Law.